points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy's in second place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's targeting a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is second after the third round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his third round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy's in second place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's targeting a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is second after the third round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his third round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played one game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy's in second place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's tagged in a first series 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played one game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy's in second place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's tagged in a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is second after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played one game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy's in second place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's tagged in a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is second after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy is in 2nd place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy is targeting a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is 2nd after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy is in 2nd place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy is targeting a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is 2nd after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy is in 2nd place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's tagged in a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is 2nd after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is 1 of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy is in 2nd place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy's tagged in a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is 2nd after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way for 3 vital points. Nico O'Reilly's 2 first-half goals, either side of Lewis Hall's equaliser, set the platform for City's victory, putting pressure on the Gunners before Sunday's North London derby at Tottenham Hotspur. That 4:30 fixture is one of 4 in the Premier League today, with 3 other 2 o'clock kickoffs, including Crystal Palace against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, and Sunderland against Fulham. There was another big result in Spain last night as Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his 5th goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing 2-1 to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. Real were looking to go 5 points clear, but a first-half anti-Budimir penalty and a late Raul Garcia strike condemned Alvaro Arbeloa to his first league defeat in 6 games as manager. Vinicius drew Real level in the 73rd minute, but couldn't stop his side losing to Osasuna for the first time since 2011. Los Blancos remain 2 points clear of Barca, having played 1 game more, with Hansi Flick's side in a position to go top with a home win against Levante later today. Golf now, Rory McIlroy is in 2nd place, but 6 shots behind leader Jacob Bridgman going into the final round of the Genesis Invitational on Sunday. McIlroy is targeting a first title of the season at Riviera Country Club, and while he is 2nd after the 3rd round, has plenty of ground to make up on Bridgman. After shooting 69 with 3 birdies and 1 bogey, McIlroy finished on 13 under par after Saturday's action, but it was Bridgman who was in control of the leaderboard. Even with a chance at birdie on 18th hole missed, he shot a 64 to close out his 3rd round on 19 under and possessing a commanding lead. Finally, to boxing, and Lee Wood took a unanimous decision victory over Josh Warrington in front of his hometown supporters at the Nottingham Arena. The former world champions were rematching after previously fighting in 2023. Wood secured a comeback knockout victory in their first fight and repeated the victory over his rival when they clashed on Saturday. The Nottingham fighter didn't score another stoppage but dominated proceedings, winning a wide unanimous decision. That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Manchester City moved to within 2 points of Premier League leaders Arsenal with a tense 2-1 victory against Newcastle at the Etihad. The Gunners opened the door to City by scoring a 2-goal lead against doomed Wolves in midweek, but Newcastle made Pep Guardiola's side fight all the way.
By Ndala, Liam Cooper and Dieng. So the Blades are Cooper in goal, then a back 4, Siriki, Tanganga, Binden, Burrows, the holders Peck and Phillips, and it's Brooks, O'Hare and Hamer behind Bamford. For the Owls, it's Dieng in goal, then a back 4, Daramola, Cooper, Otikbayo and Palmer, the holders Eski and Ingelston, then it's Lowe, Ndala and McNeil behind Yates. Well, we're closing in on kick-off at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United take on Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship. For the Blades, they've been in decent form. A 1-0 victory over Pompey last time. Just 2 changes from that team. Cannon and Simari replaced by Peck and O'Hare. There are 3 changes for Wednesday. In theory, could go down this weekend. They lost 2-1 at home to Millwall last time. Kabachi, McGee and Murphy. Cooper replaced by Ndala, Liam Cooper and Dieng. So the Blades are Cooper in goal, then a back 4, Siriki, Tanganga, Binden, Burrows, the holders Peck and Phillips, and it's Brooks, O'Hare and Hamer behind Bamford. For the Owls, it's Dieng in goal, then a back 4, Daramola, Cooper, Otikbayo and Palmer, the holders Eski and Ingelston, then it's Lowe, Ndala and McNeil behind Yates. Right, it's a very warm welcome to our coverage. The game hasn't kicked off just yet, but it is 12 noon. So the Steel City derby, well, it is significant, but one team, well, they're going in different directions at the minute, aren't they? Been a disappointing season for the Blades, but they're getting it together under Chris Wilder. And for Wednesday, I don't know where to start really, but they could go down if they lose this game, and they're going to go down this season anyway. I'm John Hogan. I'm joined by Lewis Rafferty. They've just kicked off. Over the far side, it's quite nice Sunday. It's a lovely day actually, but I wonder how the Wednesday fans would be feeling, and only a masochist would be making their way to Bramall Lane today, wouldn't they? Let's face it.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it, where this isn't what you usually get from a derby. It's not maybe. I mean, the atmosphere looks incredible in terms of the red and white contingent there. Maybe not the blue and white. There should have been the draws, but you can just tell, obviously, as you said, it's maybe not what you expect. Hopefully the players will give it their all, but it's one of them where the blades almost look like it's playing with the food they might do this afternoon, and already coming forward, they don't have an interception, but still have it with Brooks.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, for Wednesday, you know, yeah, it's a terrible season and all that. Even if they'd not all those points been docked, which they have, they'd be bottom of the table. Here's an opportunity then for Bamford, and he taps that one in. And so it's 1-0. He's looking across for the flag, but I can't make this a fair. I'm just about to say, well, what if Sheffield Wednesday win this? But they won't win it playing like that. And so Patrick Bamford has scored a very easy goal for him. Just a left foot, loads of time, unmarked in the box. Terrible.
Yeah, you don't already see. We're seeing pictures of Pedersen, the Owls boss. They're travelling Owls fans. I know it's a short distance, but they're probably thinking, right, we probably should have stayed at home and watched this on the telly or listening to us. So it's a lovely pass from Hamer, but Indala, what is he doing trying to run away from 3 or 4 players? And then the clearance is such a poor one. Plays it right to the feet of Hamer. I mean, Hamer, it's perfect for him. He disguises a shot. It's a lovely ball to Bamford. What a signing he's been for the Blades. Made his debut in this game at Hillsborough. But Dala, what is he doing there? Then he's the one who really keeps everyone on side. Calm, classy finish from Bamford. But what a terrible start for the Owls, as you say.
I watched that and I can't. It's unlucky. He's trying to recycle the ball. It's like, well, don't just boot the ball out and invite pressure. Then his clearance is not much of a clearance. He doesn't make much ground. But the last person you want to pass it to is Hamer in that position. And then it's just a simple pass. I think Cooper, he's too deep. He didn't come out. So that means that Bamford's onside in an acre of space. You either mark him or you come out. You do one of the two. You don't. In fairness to Cooper, he plays left-hand side of the centre-backs. Then, it's the man on the other side that Otegbayo should be marking or not, but he's probably got dragged across. I don't know where to start. I want to go on now. I want to go on.
It'll be a long 90 minutes. I
feel upset for Wednesday already. For Sheffield United, though, listen. Here's a team who's geared up to be thereabouts. With a wet sail, they could get themselves playoffs. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think they've got the right man in charge. There might have been palpable disappointment, but he gets a tune out of this club and this team. Looking at the goal again, ball comes across Bamford. He's got all the time in the world. Nothing that Seny Dieng can do there. He's probably on his debut, isn't he, from Middlesbrough on loan. So first thing he's doing is pick the ball out the back of the net. Well, I wonder if there'd been any quicker Steel City derby goals. Just 2 minutes on the clock when that one went in. Game certainly not settled. Like I said, for the Wednesday fans, we're talking about masochism. I think I banged that nail on the head, didn't I? Anyway. We break off because Michael Cooper now has something to do. Just goal kick to take, clearing his lines. And he goes long, right-footed, over the head of Bamford. But that's a good defensive header. Liam Cooper, like I said, he's out on the left-hand side of the centre-backs. And Gabriel Otegbayo is on the inside of him. So that's where the goal got leaked in, if you like. We were having a wee laugh ahead of kick-off because there's a lot of Coopers about, isn't there? Michael Cooper in goal for Sheffield United, Liam Cooper at the back. And Cooper got drafted into this Wednesday lineup, didn't start last time, but there was a Cooper playing for Sheffield Wednesday in goal. So, lots of Coopers. Watch out, there's a Cooper there. Anyway, strong effort there. Otegbayo got caught by the boot of Calvin Phillips in the middle of the park. For me, it was dangerous play. For me, that should be a yellow card. I know it's early in it. Maybe the ball's too low for his stooping header. I think Calvin Phillips got to be careful there. He can't do that. That he's just nodding his head there. I think you've got to be aware. For me, that was dangerous play. I had a yellow carded him. He just booted a man in the head, and I know he was stooping, but you knew he was stooping. So don't. don't kick out the ball there.
No, I agree. I think as well the difference to me would be that it was studs, wasn't it? That, you know, if you just go with the top of your boot, you are at least, it's not as dangerous. It's still dangerous, but he goes with his studs to just kick it away. Like you say, he goes with the studs on the side of the head of the Owls midfield. So I agree. I'm surprised that isn't a yellow card.
Anyway, ball into the box. Maybe a chance here for Palmer on the half turn. He shanks it up into the crowd behind the goal. It comes. It's a snapshot from the captain for Wednesday. He's every right to go for it, but it would have been a miracle if he got that on target.
Yeah, and that's what they might need, a bit of a miracle this afternoon. I know they might need one to even stay up in the Championship, of course, as you say, regardless of today. This could be kind of the real nail in the coffin, but they are down out there. It's almost as being rebuilding from August, really, for the Owls. But yeah, it might take just something special this afternoon to get them a goal or bring them some joy. When it out the field there is something they could do, but the Blades look obviously really up for it. And that early goal just calmed any maybe nerves that the Blades would have had.
Yeah, I guess so. But do you know what? For Wednesday, it's a bit like that big, huge slap in the face. You think you're going to compete, give them a game, and then balls in the back of the net, slap. Right, okay, gloves off now. No messing about. Let's get into them. Give our fans something. You know, and that's it. So, and we're seeing a reaction for them going a goal down from them anyway, at least in terms of the fight that they're showing. Traditionally, this wouldn't be a high-scoring fixture, but you never know when you get an early goal, do you?
No, I think you're spot on there. That after what I think it was 72 seconds, so seeing it back, and you say that right one, maybe Sheffield United at least get a second in this first half, probably for them just to finish off this game. Then in the second half, they might get another couple in the first to boot as well. But again, just Chris Wilder, that professional side of it, but let's go maybe get 2 or 3, kill the game off and go from there. But you're right in terms of what the visitors will want and what the fans will want. Get stuck in there, just look, give some hard work and look like you really care. I'm not saying they don't, but in the sense of put a good shift in, try your best. You're not expected to win this afternoon, and obviously it could be a worse start, but look to try and rebound from it.
Yeah, absolutely. So ball one in the middle of the park. Then there's a good effort by Svante Ingelsson. Ball slightly in behind Joel Ndala, Man City loanee, but he's done well. He was getting fouled there. Adaramola trying to overlap him on that left-hand side. The ball didn't go to him. They're going to take it from where it occurred. So Svante Ingelsson is going to chip a ball into the box, try and get the big guys in there. Cooper Otagbio, striker Jerry Yates, the tallest, but he'll compete in the air. So yeah, can they get a good delivery in and get themselves something here? Anyway, ball comes in. It's not a bad hit. Headed away by the rear guard, Tyler Binden, I think it was. But Wednesday coming back for more. Palmer a ball in, backpedaling there. Michael Cooper is good, good safe hands. I think as good as any in the championship, really, a top-class player. And the ball goes wide to Hamer. He's managed to play it off the last man, the defender there. And so the Blades have a throw-in parallel with the edge of the area. It's 1-0 to Sheffield United. If you're just joining us, where have you been? Yeah, you missed a catalogue of disasters, really. But a good goal from the Blades' point of view. Hamer's always eyes open. He's such a good player. And you know, at one point, Patrick Bamford, you know, talking about England and all that, and I think he got his cap, didn't he? So clearly, you know, at this level, he should be more than good enough.
Hamer's back at the shouts of Van Ball. That would be pretty harsh.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Anyway, attempted chest there from Bamford to try and find O'Hare. He was herring ahead of him. So need 10 minutes. That settled down. It's weird, isn't it, when you get an early goal like that? I feel discombobulated, but 10 minutes has gone in an absolute flash, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been a really fast start. Blades coming forward once again, cleared away, but again they clear it away, but only to a Blades midfielder.
Yeah, Siriki rolling around the back there did a good job, and cutback was dealt with. The ball now with the rear guard, Binden, and then he finds Burrows. Ball to the Yorkshire Pirlo. I'm interested to see how Calvin Phillips played. The last time I covered him, he was with Ipswich. He'd actually got a few games in. I thought he played really well in the Premier League, and then he got an injury.
Yeah, and it's just obviously unfortunately that move to City, realistically, made a decent amount of appearances, but never really started. He never really had full fitness when you look at it.
Yeah, but he made a lot of money.
Oh, I don't make a lot of money, got a lot of medals. I don't knock him at all, but I say for Ipswich, I saw him. He got in a bit of rhythm of fitness, didn't he, as you say, and then picked up that injury, and it was almost restarting for him, wasn't he? Yeah. Going there, and I think at Sheffield United, I think it's a real coup for the Blades getting him in. He'll be a fantastic head in there. He's been there, done that, of course, with Leeds United. So big signings into coming on loan, of course. But
I wonder what the loan terms are. I would reckon that Hull City picking up most of it. Here's a chance, and that ball lamped over by Tanganga. That was a great opportunity for 2-0. You know, he's not got ice blood in his veins. He really snatched it down, didn't he? And the ball comes in. There's a lovely little heel from O'Hare. Should be 2-0.
Should be. And look, if that's on his head, it's 2-0. I think he's spot on there. He just falls for him, and maybe just a rush of blood to the head, swings his left leg. It's not calm or composed at all. Again, I know Bamford is a striker. But you look how he finished his goal off. He just looked his goalkeeper in the eye and slotted it past him. Bamford would have made that 2-0, for example. I know it's a striker to a defender. But Tanganga there just needs to just calm himself down, because that was a big opportunity to, inside 12 minutes, be 2-0 up.
Yeah, absolutely. 2-0. The game's probably gone, hasn't it, already? Even at this early stage. Yeah, that's a dangerous thing to say. Last time I said that is when Arsenal took a 2-0 lead at Wolves. So. Yeah, so, you know, it's football and anything can happen. But already maybe the writing on the wall. For Wednesday, they've got to fight back. A little flick on there from Yates. But in the end, out comes Michael Cooper sliding out. And he will make sure he takes the ball away. Not bad from Yates, that. Like I said, sun shining at Bramall Lane. You'd be forgiven for thinking it's spring. It's not spring, but it's just a nice day anyway. I think we're all due one. Nice sunny day. 12 degrees out there or something. That'll do. I've still got my winter coat on, mind you. I don't trust it.
No, it's not shorts weather just yet. So yeah, I think you're spot on there, keeping your coat, and you never know what can come. Just say, well, it's felt like it's rained every single day. So I'm sure the Blades fans will be enjoying the sunshine. The Owls fans not so much.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the only thing they can enjoy today. Ball launch for Bamford over the top, sends him scurrying away, but he can't get the end of that one. It's just slightly overhit from Harrison Burrows. Just Wilder, well, would he ever be happy? Would you ever be able to know if you looked at him? Probably not. But I guess inside he'd be satisfied with the start that they've made. They look like they've got a bit more go forward about them. I know Jamal Lowe's out there. I haven't seen him yet.
No, you mentioned him on the team sheets. Apart from that's really been it, hasn't it? For example, we were talking about, just before we went into the game, Heskey, Neil's son, and I haven't really mentioned him, have we? It's been a lot of ball for the Blades, a lot of talk of the defenders for the Owls, but yeah, if you're Hendrik Pedersen, you just be thinking, you're not trying to say we're going to have all the ball, but it's just been a really poor 14 minutes of football for the visitors so far.
Yeah, absolutely. City Peck then goes to pick the ball up. City side, City. Anyway, it was him. Long ball again, looking for Bamford. Control from him, not bad. Ball going to break then for O'Hare. And then eventually a shot comes in. That's driven wide. It's like shots in. I think that was Burrows, was it? Not sure. But it's just too easy. I was surprised there that Bamford, he sort of controlled it, but he didn't make a good job of it, and that sort of killed his chance there, really.
Yeah, and it was a lovely run as well. They go hand in hand, and yeah, I thought he might just take a touch and just go for a strike at goal, and then as you said, touch wasn't really what he wanted. He wanted the best, but then he had to hold it open and look for his teammates to make the run. Burrows, he wanted to play it to the left of him, and I want to say, but then it was well read by Palmer on the right hand side, so he couldn't really do that. So goes for a strike at goal. Didn't expect it a bit better, but it was a strike that he had all the right to go for, and Brooks now going past 1 on 2, looking confident that he's absolutely swiped out there, and I think the Blades wanted advantage, but the referee's going to stop that and book Heskey.
Yeah, so we were talking about Jaden Heskey, but and according to Jack in our office, he said he's an attacking midfielder, but he's in the pivot and he's supposed to you know, mix it and get stuck in. But Brooks goes on a great run there, and he just boots him. I don't know what to say about that, really. It was poor, and he got his yellow card that he deserved. Referee Josh Smith maybe could have played on, but hard to criticise that.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because as soon as you saw it, yellow card foul, but then it fell kindly for the Blades. I'm sure they'll be happy for Hamer to swing one in at the same time, but that was very much a foul from a forward, wasn't it, sliding in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently he's an attacking midfielder rather than a defensive screen, and I think he just showed that there. Ball into the box on the free kick. Not the best hit from Gustavo Hamer ever, and Senny Dieng had come out. So Sheffield United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and not the usual landscape for a derby. Two good teams, you know. Usually there wouldn't be that much between them. You know, they flip-flop between which is the better of the two Steel City teams. Both have got a tremendous fan base. You know, both have got a very proud history with plenty of honours in there. But I don't know. Certainly for Wednesday, you know, in administration, I guess things can only get better. But it's going to have to be a long rebuilding job, isn't it?
100%. That's the thing. You've got to not just look for. That's a long ball from the free kick and offside, so that's poor anyway. As you say, I don't think if you're at Wednesday you can look at, oh, we'll drop down and we'll come straight back up, because that's what we are. It's almost looking at 2 or 3 years, isn't it? Maybe we have to suffer for a season in League One and slowly rebuild, and then that rebuild can really take you forward, though, then, can't it? And make sure you don't get back into this position. Do well in League One, slowly do it to a degree. Reminds you maybe of when Leeds United went down. They spent a few years there but got back to the Championship, and look where they are now. Long road, but now doing very well in the Premier League.
Yeah, I've got a great idea. Wednesday get Bielsa in. Anyway, a shot comes in from O'Hare and he's hit the outside of the post. I think that Senny Dieng had that covered near post. It's a good effort, that, and you feel here that the second goal more likely to be coming from those in the red and white than those in the blue and white.
Yeah, it was a lovely piece of play. I think Brooks was a great decoy run, could have gone for him as well, but hits it sweetly. But I think you're right. I think Dieng's very much got that covered. I mean, as well, maybe being really, really critical. Could he have looked up and played it across to Bamford? I'm not saying he should have, but or could he have played it across to the keeper's right? That might have made it more difficult. I'm not too sure, but yeah, really, right now it's just about control for Sheffield United, and of course looking for that second goal.
Yeah, they seem to have control of the game right now. That early endeavour from Wednesday wasn't wiped out by the goal. Certainly, I think if anything, it might have given that adrenaline a boost, but you can only work on adrenaline for so long. And then the hard facts of a team that's playing better than you sort of, you know, come to play a little bit more. Phillips on the ball now. He's a good passer of the ball. You know, for Leeds in their 4-1-4-1 formation, he probably quarterbacked the team. That's a great ball. They've got round the back again. Here's the chance. The shot comes in and it's smashed into the back of the net. It is 2. It is Burrows who wheels away in delight. I've got to say, Luce, it's a great goal. It's a very simple goal. Rolling it to round the back and an easy strike.
It's his second goal of the season, and he had that strike early, didn't he, when he got in a good position. That one obviously a much kinder one, but as you say, it's a lovely move, but in the simplest of ways it's a lovely move, isn't it? Just a few passes, as you say. Phillips is sat there with Peck almost with the centre-backs out there, sitting there playing the passes. That allows the likes of Burrows and Sariki to make those forward runs and get in those areas, meaning that they don't have to get back as much. It's a lovely little 1-2, dropping deep there. Peck plays it over the top, no one follows the runners, and I think Wednesday do well to stop the passes to an O'Hare and a Brooks. That opens it up well for in the middle. Bamford dropping deep, that means whose man is that? There you go with Bamford, that opens up the space for Burrows. Bamford's such an intelligent footballer that's what he's great at. But as you say, simple goal, but a good one. Poor from the Owls once again.
Yeah, I like that from Bamford. He comes deep. At a certain point in the game, you know if you're going to take your marker out with you, and if you bring him to the halfway line, then you've made a great big gap. Can your teammates exploit that? Well, yes, they could.
Yeah, the thing you said there, Spot, how many times you see a number 9 drop deep and then the rest of his team just stay still and no one moves, and then it's pointless of him dropping. You need the runners, as you said, and that's what you need your team to go, right, he's made that drop deep, oh, I can run in behind. And then your defenders go, who's marking that, whose runners that, they don't know, and that's why it opened up for the goal.
I tell you what, so he's only scored 2 this season, but that was a really tidy finish from Burrows, wasn't it?
Oh, it was outside on the left foot, beautiful finish, and to say he's a left back, we know he's got a decent delivery on him in terms of crosses, and his work rate's fantastic, but maybe that's why, maybe if you are Chris Wilder, you'd say you could even maybe play on the left-hand side of the midfield forward finishers like that.
Absolutely, I don't see why not. Yeah, City Peck gets the assist for that. But I mean, it was a good pass, wasn't it? Because it was perfect weight. But he's sort of rolling it into I don't know, a huge area of space. It probably wasn't. He's probably thinking, well, don't wow about that. It's not the most difficult thing I've ever done. Anyway, Wednesday have got a long throw, but they've got a long throw and it's straight into the hands of Cooper from Cooper. So yeah, related. It's not this ball, our kid. Anyway, not the best stat. And again, Calvin Phillips on the ball, not having to be really good today. But again, he would have played his part in the goal. Not much of it. Didn't need to do too much. A terrible pass on the inside. Peck not getting it right this time. His teammate on his haunches, but they've scarcely made a mistake yet. I think we'd allow them that.
Yeah, and that's probably the first 21 minutes where you could say that was a bad pass, that was a mistake by the Blades. I think if you are Pedersen, who's just got his head down, probably thinking, right, what have I got myself in for here? That, his only thing would be, well, we didn't force that mistake. That was just maybe a drop of concentration there, wasn't it? And again, as you say, with Peck's assist, he didn't. For example, Hamer's into Bamford had to be spot on, didn't he? Had to be the weight of the pass for the first one into his feet for a good strike. That one, don't want to take anything away from Peck, but it was just, right, we put it into an area for the player to run to, because there was that much space vacated by, I think it was Palmer who went with Bamford. But it was easy, and again, as you said, simple. From a Blade's point of view, fantastic. From an Owl's point of view, you think, can't get the simple stuff right.
Yeah, I think for both passes, to be honest, I think they were both relatively easy, and it's just about being aware and having your eyes open. He's probably thought, well, there's a great big gap there, and if I get this right. But then for him, it's like, look at Patrick Bamford stood by himself. I should be able to find him, and he's giving him a sympathetic ball, as you said, Beckham-esque. Anyway, a little touch back there by Bamford to O'Hare. Ball out to the right side for Brooks, cuts inside, first challenger. Was he brought down from behind? Yes, he was. It's a poor challenge that from Ndala. In fact, it might have been a Daramola. Yeah, just in nibbling from behind, wasn't it? But looks a bit crestfallen. But it's a good little cut from Andre Brooks, and now a free kick in a dangerous area again.
Yeah, it's who takes it as well. Left foot of Burrows. He'll be confident after his finish. After you said that, Hamer loves a good free kick as well, and it's a bit of a awkward one. It's a little bit to the right, isn't it? You could probably still swing it into the box. I'm not saying that, but this one, could you catch the keeper out? Saw that beautiful free kick for Anton Stack further out, but he caught the keeper out because he thought, right, he's going to swing this one in. Did the same here, where you get that motion of, right, we're going to swing it in, and you go for goal. Could catch out the goalkeeper, but big chance here for the free kick for the Blades.
Yeah, it is, because they're really good at it, and Sheffield Wednesday are terrible at defending them. So you've got second best in the league against the worst in the league in terms of these set pieces. Anyway, Hamer's over it. He takes it to the far post. Free header in there, and then it's slammed away by Otigbayo. But three men in the box. Anyway, I don't know where to start with that, but I know where to finish it, because we're halfway through the first half. You're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio commentary. It's Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and it's going to be Lewis to take us through to half-time.
Cheers, John. It's been a good first half to watch. Maybe if you're not the blue and white contingent of the Owls, the Blades have been very good, very much in control. Not even in terms of possession. They haven't sat and had all the possession of the football, but scored two, I think, beautiful at least finishes and build-ups. You could say maybe Wednesday would have wanted to do better defensively, of course, but I do think Sheffield United just say, well, whatever's in front of us, we're doing really well with. They do have a free kick just about on the halfway line, maybe a few yards inside their own half to the Owls. Wilson puts one into the box. Cooper goes up high, nearly falls for Yates. Just sniffing around, trying to create maybe even half a chance. It's well held by Cooper. You spoke about him earlier, Michael Cooper, that is, as you said, so many Coopers on the pitches. John's already spoke about, but I felt last year he had such a good record, but unfortunately James Trafford has this world level of clean sheets with Burnley. That's a late tackle there by Ingleson, and that must be another yellow card. And if he does, you've got your two pivot defensive midfielders in Heskett and Ingleson, both on yellow cards. They've got to be players that are definitely up for being brought off. If both on yellow cards, dangerous game to play.
Yeah, stupid that. I mean, okay, so the fans want to see a bit of bite from you, but there's late and then there's that. If there's such a thing as an orange card or a sin bin, he would have it there, wouldn't he?
But it's more the ball had already gone quite a while.
The thing is, I mean, that might be the nature of a derby game, right? But if Wednesday get one of their lads sent off in this and end up losing 10-0, are the fans really going to pat them on the back for getting stuck in like that? And I'm not sure the answer is yes. Anyway, here we go. Again, the Blades are on the ball and dominating the game.
Yeah, well, easy. The free kick doesn't come too much, but look, the 2-0 up and cruising at the moment at Sheffield United. Cooper with a long ball looking for maybe O'Hare or Bamford, possibly even on the left-hand side for the moment is Brooks, but right back to the end in the Wednesday goal. Seeing again, as I said earlier, Chris Wilder never looks happy, upset, disappointed. You never know what he's thinking. As you said earlier, long ball forward, dealt with by Bind, and it goes to the right-hand side. And here come Wednesday for the first time quite a while. Ball is whipped and it's dealt with by Tanganga, and he puts it wide. And I don't think he needed to. Maybe Cooper and Tanganga then been a miscommunication, but it gives the Blades that little bit of hope in the corner.
Well, yeah, for the Arrows, they'll take anything that's coming their way, won't they? Any little bit of respite. Who's to say they can't grab a goal today, do something, you know. I think for the Blades, it's like you have that feeling, oh, we're better than these guys, and we're 2-0 up already. Maybe you just take your eye off the price a little bit. At least that's what the Owls will be hoping.
Yeah, a chance from Nicholson to put it into the box. It is, it's flicked on, but headed away in the end by Tanganga. Hamer, is he taken down there? Yes, he is, and Hamer might even kick out there at low. Bit of a coming together. This is where the derby aspect comes into it. Hamer is absolutely furious there, and there's a collision of blue and white and red and white. The referee's going to have to calm this down in a moment. Tanganga is in the throes of it, as so many of the players are. It was just Hamer trying to play the ball. Hamer's taken down. He's not happy with what's been dealt with, but again, from the little bit I've seen, still more pushing and shoving with Palmer and Peck. So this is all a bit of pushing and shoving for no reason. I don't think, maybe just showing look how hard I am, because I know my players are going to hold me back anyway. But it was a bad foul from the Wednesday midfielder, but I don't think there was any need for Hamer to maybe kick out and react as he did.
It's funny seeing everybody get red-faced and all that. I watched a few just going through the motions, and Calvin Phillips couldn't be bothered really. Just stood there. Stop it, lads. Yeah. Others going scarlet in the face, Palmer and all that. Referee's going to have a word. Peck, Hamer, Tanganga all around him. But what happened to? I've got to talk to the men in question. I've got to talk to the captains. I don't know what Wednesday try to do here, because you know, showing you care is one thing, but this is just ridiculous. You know, they need to express themselves in a different way, I feel. But it's the nature of the derby, and we all love a little bit of scuffle. I'm not going to knock it, because you know you're quite excited to see a bit of stuff. But I feel at 2-0 down, it's a bit disingenuous. You know, why do all that? Jamal Lowe and Hamer both getting involved there. I mean, it was something or nothing. Lowe wasn't bothered, was he? You know, I don't really know how that blew up. But he did get knocked down. He was on the ball. Jamal Lowe's naughty there, trying to sort of trample him a bit, and then Hamer just wants to trip him up. But yeah, just something or nothing really. Well, I tell you what, there's such a massive overreaction in there from one of the Wednesday guys. Just thinking, what are you doing? You know,
it's like you said, in terms of because of 2-0 down, trying to show we care by pushing and shoving. I'm not sure.
I'm sure that they do care. You know what I mean? But is that it? Is that the only way you can show? You know, like I said, if they're reduced, if they end up with 9 men and beaten 20-0, it's going to be the derby. It's going to be remembered for all time, and nobody's going to remember. Oh, he cared. Do you know what I mean? I don't see the value in it, to be honest.
No, I think you're right. It's one of them that, again, with the fouls that have been the yellow cards, it wasn't for me where I sit there and go, oh, they were so close to the ball and they missed it, and it's yellow card. I do with Heskey and Ingleson. They both were miles from getting the ball. There's a difference between, oh, you were inches away in going for a tackle and not, you've missed the ball, yellow card, fair enough, and the ball's gone away and then you've slid it, which both were. So I think you're spot on with that. Half an hour gone, it is still 2-0 to the Blades in this Steel derby. There's a throw in on the left hand side for Anna Ramola, and and the scuffling's just died down. I mean, I can imagine that maybe Hamer and Lowe, whenever there's a corner, set piece, throwing, whatever it is, your eyes might be just drawn to them. Peck was involved as well. I don't know why Peck was involved at all, if I'm honest. As you said, it just seemed to be that Hamer was being calmed down, and a few players for either side then came knocking in, throwing in like a Royal Rumble almost, and yeah, I just was very unsure as what was going on. Free kick though, and another opportunity for a set piece.
Yeah, I expected one of those fold-up chairs to be
someone over the top rope or something in a minute, in the back of the net. That's what I was waiting for.
Paul Bearer just his hands together.
The lights are going to go off in a moment. If there were a night game, lights have gone off, and someone would have come out as a surprise substitute or something like that. Brooks, a lovely piece of play again, taking it past his man. This brings a lovely ball to O'Hare on the right-hand side. Here come the Blades in search of a third. Back into the box it goes. Well defended at first. And it falls from Burrows. Touch at first from Brooks, but it gets away from him for a second. The game's just opened up a little bit. McNeil and Hamer batting him for the ball there. Goes out for a throw-in. That was a lovely pass from Brooks. He looks like he hasn't had too many touches in terms of what Hamer has had O'Hare, but what he's done with the ball, I think it's been excellent so far.
Yeah, he's a different player, isn't he? Very dynamic. He wants to dribble with the ball, you know, and he wants to punch gaps into them, and that's great. They've got a good mix then, haven't they? You know, ball players, more dynamic players. They've got a finisher in there. The team looks good, doesn't it? You know, legs in the middle of the park, a passer in Phillips, enough reliability at the back with a good goalkeeper. There's no reason why this team can't get themselves into you know, play of contention. I don't think. Again, the season's getting a bit long in the tooth. They're still a way off, but I think with a wet sail, you know. The advent of 3 points for a win, you know, it means that you can go on with those magic runs, and maybe they'll be the team who get into the playoffs on the back of a brilliant run. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing with them. Brooks again here, a real opportunity as the ball cut back into the box. Not good enough for Bamford this time, but good play from Siriki overlapping. And again, Wednesday absolutely overwhelmed there.
Yeah, it's a really good play. I think, as you said, in terms of what the setup is at Sheffield United, this isn't taking anything away, because I agree with you. I love how it is. It's the most simple instructions of how you set a team up, and look at how easy sometimes football can be when you get players in the right positions. Tanganga just maybe a little bit aggressive there, trying to win the ball back. I have the field almost in the Wednesday penalty box. The United defender there. And Wednesday do get a free kick just outside their own penalty area, just above 33 minutes played at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. The attacking areas 50% down the right hand side, near enough level through the centre and on the left hand side. So as you spoke about, he's been very heavy with Brooks and the overlapping Siriki. Both the right and left have kind of different kind of roles, don't they? Kind of on the left, Hamer tucks in a little bit, almost aids in midfield, with Burrow's been given license to go up and down. Then on the right hand side, it's almost a double act, isn't it, with a winger, a classic winger and a classic fullback double joining and getting together. And I like how that works on either side.
Yeah, I mean, they're both 4-2-3-1 today, these two teams, aren't they? But one looks a perfect balance for that. The other one looks like players are kind of shoehorned into those positions because they want balance. But are they the right players to be in the, you know, is it the right formation for them? There's so many odds and sods in there, really. We've not really mentioned Charlie McNeil, have we? Just half a chance there, Ingleson making ground. Heavy challenge on him, but I think he might want a corner. So yeah, there's one or two. Jerry H has not seen the ball. Charlie McNeil's not seen the ball. You know, Joel and Darla too quiet, and that's a lot of the creative juice for Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas, as you said, about Peck and Phillips, they've seen a lot of the ball. Same with Hamer, same with Brooks. Looking at possession, it's a lot more than I actually thought. I know the Blades have had a lot of it. Nearly 75% possession.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of control in the game. But as John said, ball comes in from this corner just over their head, but he'll fall for McNeil and he'll slice it well wide. The first shot of the game in the end for the Blades, for the Owls, I should say, and it goes wide into fans.
It's second because we saw that Liam Palmer.
Oh, sorry. Yes, apologies. Yeah, yeah. So the stats haven't.
Oh, the stats are wrong. No, don't be looking at the stats.
Sorry. Keep your eyes on the TV. Keep your eyes on the screen.
Trying to remember. That's. I've got a terrible memory, but I do remember that it was a pot. But you see, I'd written that down. So there we go.
Well, I will say then, the statisticians, you got to be watching the game themselves as well, because they've not put it down in the shot. But you are right. It was only the way Palmer had that. Well, probably quite a similar shot to McNeil. There was a terrible one that went.
Well, it ended in the same place, didn't it? In the back of the stand. So. And I bet whoever's doing the stats thinking, I'm not going to bother with it.
No one's going to mind if I don't put that down. No one remembers that one. And at the moment, there's probably 2 balls right in the away, and they're never going to get.
Well, I tell you what, that shot, the shot from Palmer, it might have been chalked off because there was a free kick or something. Do you know what I mean? So they've not even had to write that down because there was an infringement or something like that. But anyway, so they're probably right, and I'm probably wrong.
No, but you are right. In terms of the game, there has been 2 shots. For example, it's like if an offside goal goes in, there has been that shot, hasn't it? But won't count on the official statistics. Ball forward looking for Bamford into the arms of Dieng in the Owls goal, and they could just maybe have a bit of respite. I'm not too sure. They haven't again had a lot of the ball. A lot of the passes as well have been long passes. They've not been short and sweet in the middle. Not seeing much link up. Long ball forward to McNeil. It's a poor pass coming forward. Again, as you said, we finally mentioned the forward players for the Owls on ball forward. Cooper kind of deals with it very awkwardly as he slides to collect it. O'Hare was there trying to press him down, and some pressure. It's played out to Ramola on the left hand side. Fakes it, takes it past Brooks. This is a nice run coming forward here. So a bit of space, and he's going to drive forward into it. Knocks it to the left hand side to Ndala. A chance to create something here. Well defended by Siriki though, but it does go out for another corner. And again, this is just a little bit of momentum for the Owls, and you'd like to think maybe they could create maybe one chance to test the goalkeeper.
Yeah, unimpressed with Andre Brooks there. Yeah, he was beaten, but then he just watches his man fly by, and he doesn't really put on the afterburners to get back. So I'm a bit disappointed with that. You know, it's not long since I was watching this Wednesday side with Jedi Gassama playing, and I thought, oh, he looks good and all that. And then you had Bannon in there. They haven't created anything yet today. Maybe this corner kick will go well for them.
Will be an outswing. It's floated to the back sticks, headed away by Tanganga. Be picked up by Neil on the right hand side. It's forced to go back to Ramola. All the way back to the end. Gives it all the way back. He's about halfway into his own half. That's a poor ball forward. Cooper will look to flick it up. Search of Yates. Headed away by Tanganga to the right hand side. Ingleson tries best to keep it in play. He does. It only falls to Burrows on the right hand side. The Blades get the ball back once again. They've never looked out of control.
What's Harrison Burrows doing there in the right back position? I don't know, but it's a good intervention from him. Just shows how fluid they are. You get those little bits of pieces of players able to freestyle it when you're in good shape, when everybody knows where they are. I'm just going to go there, you cover that. It's that kind of thing. That's the only time you can do that, is when you've got a good understanding of it. You know, I think that speaks really highly of what the Blades have done so far today. And they've been the best team by a mile, I think.
Oh, they have. I think you saw Burrows there to the right hand side, didn't you? But you also saw then Hamer went to the left hand side to cover that space. As you say, then they played the ball into Phillips, and they just looked at each other and right, let's swap and let's get back in position. So again, very comfortable, but that is the difference when you have a team that's so together, don't you? And Wilder, I know he left in the summer and came back in quick fashion, but that's when everyone just knows what they need to do with instructions.
No, exactly. Now, incidentally, if you want to tune up any further, England have beaten Sri Lanka, the Cricket World Cup in Sri Lanka, and putting themselves forward in their little group game that they've got now, but potential. But they've been terrible, England, through the tournament as well. So a very welcome victory for them on the cards. They're only 1 wicket away from that.
Yeah, of course, talking about games on the service, we've got a lot of Premier League covered, of course, with the cricket as well covered on the service, if that's something of interest to you. But of course, interest Aaron Steele's derby, and again, as you were speaking about, there's just a throw on the left hand side. Been a bit of a pause to the game.
What game have you got later than Lewis?
Palace and Wolves at 2 o'clock.
That should be decent.
So Wolves, my shout will be that I think Wolves can get something out of that, because Palace are a bit of free fall. You covered them against Burnley when they were 2-0 up, and Burnley won 3-2 in the end. So
absolutely, yeah.
5 goals in that, hopefully it's the same.
Listen, I thought Wolves were had a great second half. Showed the bags of spirit against Arsenal. So yeah, why not? That should be a really interesting game. Lots on it, and there'll be lots of interested sort of watchers on. If Palace win that game, you think, ooh, maybe you're going to be all right. If they don't, they're in big trouble, aren't they? They could get dragged in there.
Wolves are almost down, but as you said, they could almost grab the the Eagles with them, couldn't they, at the moment? I'm sure the likes of Leeds and Forest would be happy with that. Forward come the Blades. O'Hare on the right-hand side goes for a shot. He completely scuffs it. Burrows was nearly there with him and almost on the end. Wednesday deal with it and clear it long, but all the way out to Cooper in the end. You were just speaking as well earlier about the table. Sheffield United, they're in 14th. They're nowhere near. They're only 6 points off 6th place Wrexham, and as you said, you get the win today, you put some wins together. It is so stereotypical of the Championship and the AFL as a whole. But if the Blades in the next, let's just say 5 games, that win 3 and draw 2, just for example, they are probably right in the midst of the playoffs. And after that terrible start, they'll be over the moon.
I think this Blades team is as good as any in the division, really. I think they could go on a run, 6 or 7, victories on the bounce. I've no doubt that they could reel them off. Depends who they've got, of course. You want those slightly less. I don't think there's necessarily easy games or that there's anything outstanding in the division, but I've no doubt that the Blades could go on a run, particularly off a showing like this, but they won't meet teams quite as easy to beat as Wednesday every week, will they?
No, you're spot on with that. Of course, it's looking at clean sheets, isn't it? Cooper had an outstanding game in midweek, so he'll be getting back to his best. You spoke about it being a great goal, as I was saying earlier, it's just with the right side with Brooks. Again, the game's just slowed down a little bit, as the Blades are quite happy just to knock it around even more than what they were doing earlier. I felt Cooper's season last season went so under the radar because you had James Trafford, who was one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship. You'd say even in further than that. I know he hasn't been in the chance at Manchester City, but I always felt a little bit sorry for Cooper because he had a great season, but just not one of the best Championship goalkeeping seasons like Trafford.
Yeah, well, they were all after Trafford, weren't they? And when Man City come calling, you don't knock them back, do you? I bet he was horrified when they went and got Donnarumma a few weeks later. So he's unlucky, and for Cooper, I think he's happy where he is. So long may that continue. There'd be plenty of teams in the Premier League who'd be looking and thinking, oh, we won't mind him in the mix. I think he could start in a few Premier League sides.
I agree with that. Down the left-hand side, forward in Tala, fortunately 2 up against him. He did well to get in that position. Maybe that's Brooks not maybe getting back and tracking his manners, or helping his fullback out, I should say, Sariki, as much as he could. Blades have the ball in the middle. Peck and Phillips have been fantastic and just dictating the play, both of them. As you said, I think it's actually a really great duo. They both got legs, they're both great passes of the ball, they can win the ball well. I think it's a good duo to have. I see a lot of teams these days with free midfield, and I think that's sometimes so, you can, right, maybe this player don't have the legs, but you want him in the team, for example. He's a great passer. Not always every team has a 2 in midfield. You need them to be perfect, I think, of both qualities. Phillips and Peck do have. Blades have it on the right, ball into O'Hare, lets it run, runs away from him, ball played forward to low, and it's easily intercepted. 2-on-1, it wasn't Wolves' fault, really, by double of Peck and Tanganga. Plays it forward for O'Hare, intercepted by Cooper, but it's cleared away only as far as Sariki. Phillips under a bit of pressure there in the middle. Will be a late foul in the end, I believe, by Ndala.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it, in the career of a footballer, to be beloved, like Calvin Phillips was by his manager Bielsa. He was nowhere with the fans before Bielsa got to Elland Road, and it's a hybrid position for him. This 4-1-4-1, it allows him to utilise his passing. He's got a good cross-field raking pass, and then it was his last-ditch defending, where throw yourself at the ball. It doesn't really matter if you win or lose because you're buying time. It was just guaranteed to make him look good. And then England, Gareth Southgate, you're my man. And I thought that was quite weird as well, and in a sort of different role. And then Guardiola picks him up and then puts him back down. No, I don't like him. It's as simple as that. Whether you like him or not, he's had influence, and then he's been completely out with the washing. But all the way through, he's been the same him. He's been the same player, really.
100%. As you spoke about last year when he was with Ipswich, it's about fitness, isn't it? And as soon as he kind of got going, you've seen the best of him. He picked up an injury, and then it just is, you go back to the start, don't you? Long ball forward for a header. Goalkeeper Dieng, no man's land, but at the end it fell kind of on his chest, and he got the ball back for the
I think for Calvin Phillips, when he'd been injured with Leeds, it'd always taken him about 5 or 6 games to get back. And his manager in Bielsa, he'd always said, right, okay, I accept that that's going to happen, and he's not going to play well for a while, and then when he does, then he's a great player, So I think that's it. He's got to play week in, week out. You've got to trust that if he can avoid injury, that he's going to then hone in and become good, you know.
No, Bielsa, you think spot there, say, I know you're going to take 2 or 3 into fitness, but then you're going to rock and roll. You're going to be one of the best players in the division. Hamer's just won a free kick there, halfway inside his own half. We have hit 45 minutes and 2 minutes to stoppage.
Well, that goes back to the original thing we said about Wednesday today, is that players shoehorned into positions they don't really want to play. We're told that Jaden Heskey's an attacking midfielder, but he's in the pivot. They haven't got anybody else. And because he's got a good engine, he has to do that. We saw his challenge that he got a yellow card. He's no tackler. He's like, that was like a real attacker's too. We say, oh, you know, attacker's challenge or striker's challenge. He was poor. He doesn't have those instincts in him. Even when he's closing the ball down, I'm thinking, really? I mean, it's probably going to do him good in the long run, but it's not necessarily a good thing for Sheffield Wednesday right now that Jaden Heskey's playing a position that he probably doesn't want to play.
Especially being of a younger age as well, 20 years old, coming into your out position. It's a massive game against your rivals. Nothing's comfort. It's not like this is a confident Sheffield Wednesday, rolling on, playing well. Right, well, we can throw a youngster in there. We can't afford to not throw a youngster in there, because that's all they've got. When I see him on the ball, I think he looks like a decent ball player, so I can imagine, as you said, a bit further up, he's quite a decent player, but you know, out of position, you do feel a bit for him in the sense that he's just out of his depth because of the position he's played. About 30 seconds left until half time. It's been a cruise and a walk at Bramall Lane so far for the Blades, and Wilder be more than happy, won't he?
Yeah, I think he'd be really pleased. They've been professional. You know, they've executed plans as well. I mean, the first goal was handed on a plate in some respect. The second one was really well worked. Bamford making the space, Burrows running into it, and a tidy finish. I think he'll be pleased. I think he'll know also that the game's not quite done yet. You know, 2-0 can be a dangerous scoreline, but it is 2-0 and it's half time, so we'll be back shortly. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side. Good work by Bamford in the build-up. Wednesday have been pretty terrible, and for the Blades, it's a walk in the park. It's half-time at Bramall Lane. It couldn't have gone any better for the Blades. They scored after just 2 minutes. Patrick Bamford, unmarked in the box, was picked out there by Gustavo Hamer. All that after a defensive mistake for the second goal. Harrison Burrows ran into a great big gap, just smashed it in from the left-hand side.
Right then, we're back. It's still sunny in the Steel City, but you'd be forgiven for being a little bit blue if you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, no pun involved. Anyway, Palmer's on the ball. Can they get something going? Need to get something going. Need to get a goal here. Even if they just win the second half, give their fans something that isn't just a fist fight. They tried that first half. I'm John Hogan. I'm joined by Lou Rafferty. They are underway for the second half. They were pretty poor in the first half.
Yeah, really poor. And as you spoke about just then about can you do anything more apart from maybe push and shove each other and try to, I know my player's going to hold me back, but I'm going to try and make it think that, I'm going to go for one of the other players. Yeah, really poor on the ball. That didn't put a few passes together at all, did they? Whereas United were very good, but the Owls were very poor at the same time. And yeah, you're right. Let's just say it finishes 2-1, but the Owls win the second half 1-0. It's a little bit of something, and as well take that clean sheet away from United as well. Maybe.
I think that's what I'd been. If I were the Wednesday manager, it's like you're going to get a fight and all that, and you're going to get reaction like that. But it's like, come on, let's try and do more. Let's try and create something out of this. Let's show our quality on the ball, and let's show that we're good footballers, and show our fans that. Maybe I'm being naive or something, but anyway. Well, here's some good play down the left-hand side, close to getting the corner. Undala there, it looked like he'd won his battle, and then right at the very death, when I'm expected a cross to come in, he had his pocket.
Yeah, it was good defending from Sariki at first, but yeah, you're thinking, oh, can you get past your man? And I think that first half, which I don't think they took advantage of, did Wednesday, is that sometimes Brooks didn't track back to help out Sariki, so I feel if, again, just taking that chance, try and double up on Sariki. Yes, he's a good defender, but if it's 2-on-1, it takes a bit more, of course, doesn't it? And that also then brings Brooks back a little bit, doesn't it? Because he has to, so then it's less of him coming forward, and I'm surprised they haven't done that. Again, we're already 2-0 down, push you a little bit further forward.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that Darren Mola could push up. You've got Liam Cooper on the inside of you. He's not the quickest, right? So Brooks against him, you think, oh, well, that's a mismatch. I saw Adama Traore against Liam Cooper, and Cooper gave him nothing. Do you know what I mean? So he's a man with experience who can deal with that kind of thing. Anyway, they need to do something. Ball wallop through, looking for Bamford, but hanging out the right leg towards that, unlikely to bring it in. It was a good effort and a good idea. The ball didn't quite work out. Long ball forward then, and Dala rises for it, low in the middle as well.
hoping to get something going. The ball was shepherded out. It will be a throw for Wednesday, Ingleson for a long throw. I mean, lots of teams use this. He's got a prodigious long throw, he has. So, you know, it's going to loop in, but he gets good distance on it. There's no reason why they can't create something out.
Oh, and throw a few extra bodies into the box. And again, if you get countered upon, all right. But again, show to the fans, like you say, look, we tried to throw bodies in, it just didn't work.
Ball does come in, keeper comes out, gets a little touch on it. You know, he did all right. He did all right. At least he came and he got a little touch. And Wednesday in the middle there, that's stunning, played by Darren Mola, and his shot is on target. I mean, I think his tricks and his flicks and all that and his skill earned him the right there, but it wasn't a great shot.
No, it wasn't. It was one on target, and the referee's will be a red card for Calvin Phillips for a late tackle. Our broadcast, apologies, independent off-tube studio commentary. We were showing the ball playing forward, so we haven't seen the foul, but this could be where the game changes. So,
yeah, wowee. I was just about to write down shot on target, and then we're looking up and there's a red card. What's going on? Well, you know, for the Blades, Ingleson be putting himself about, but let's take another look. It's a poor challenge. I think he wins the ball, he follows through. It's too strong. It's too strong. It's a proper derby follow through. The thing is, he leaves his foot in there, and if you're the referee looking from a certain angle, you don't need to do that. You know, yeah, his foot got the ball first, went over the ball, then into the knee, and it's like he held his leg in there. You know, he flings his arm out. Chris Wilder didn't really want to look at him. From being in a position of authority, and again, and it's always stupid derby. I'm gonna, you know, I'll show a little bit more. That I'll get the fans on side by doing something like that. But you know, they're trying to argue the toss with the fourth official, but he's got to go. I can't fault the referee for giving a straight red there.
No, I can't either. And again, as you said, it's back when you win, you see it, don't you? Yes, you've gone in for the ball, but that follow through is essential. There's no pull out, is there, from the follow through? If he collides with him there, it's on his right knee to the right hand side near his hamstring, if you will, but on the side of his knee. And it's more that Phillips does, he goes in and he doesn't pull out, does he? If he goes in but straight pulls out, you can go, well, I tried to pull away.
Right, so this challenge, there's a precedent set, and this is why the laws of the game have changed. It was Liam Ridgewell for Birmingham against Theo Walcott, and he won the ball and he destroyed Walcott in the after. He knew he was getting the ball and he goes right through him. I think, did he break his leg? I don't know. Anyway, Ingleson is hobbling off right now. And he would feel that because it studs the full weight of somebody onto the studs, onto the knee, and it's gonna hurt. You know, it's a disgusting challenge when I think about it, and it's a heat of the moment, derby. Oh, I can leave one in. That would have been fine in 1972, but we ain't 1972 now because we know a bit more, don't we?
Yeah, 100%. He just got a bit clever. I thought Phillips would be, but a chance for his free kick now.
Yeah, ball into the box for Wednesday, and on the half-turn shot comes in. Again, it might have been a Darren Morley, whoever it was a decent effort. But, well, the Blades now, from being comfortable, are going to have to, they're going to have to rearrange. We thought it might be Wednesday going down to 10 men, the way that they'd gone about stuff. Ingleson had been a bit naughty himself, but listen, you can't, you know, it's not tit for tat there. He could have broken his leg. So there's no excuses for that. And now for Wednesday, an opportunity for them to maybe show that they could do something. Here they are, edge of the box, a little wriggle around them. From Motic Bio were coming deep, ball into the box, looking for low. Goes through the box now, little step inside, and the shot comes in. What a strike! McNeil's done nothing. Now he's done something, and he's got them right back in the game. They're against 10 men, and now it's 2-1.
What a strike there into the front post. It's only his fourth goal of the championship season, but what a time to get it. Those visiting fans are going absolutely ballistic right now. And you spoke about it. I know now they've been given the advantage, but look, sometimes a team goes down to 10 men and sometimes they fight back, don't they? It's like a us against all kind of mentality. Whereas, you know what, the Owls have taken advantage of it. He's a good player as well, down the left, down side. I think it's a great first touch from McNeil. Then he just strikes it into the front post. Cooper probably not expecting it as well. Got a few bodies in front of him. It's a great finish. I think a lot of times you see the keeper was beating his front post, but that strike. He's world class there from McNeil, and what a time to get it. And now, what a chance to maybe be 2-0 down at half time. Look like you're down and out, as you said. Look like you might get a man set off in the second half. To maybe not just winning the second half, winning the game.
That's big talk there. Anyway, getting back to the goal, the ball into him was all right, but it's like, I think he's got that in his head. I chest this, I touch it on the inside, I get a shot away left-footed, and he executes all three parts of that perfectly. And then for his shot, it's that thing where it just bounces just in front of Cooper, who may have been getting across. The ball bounces over his outstretched left hand. So in essence, what I'm saying was, from a player who'd done next to nothing in the first half, he's just shown absolute perfection. Perfection. You couldn't have done that any better, what he'd just done. Ball into the box here for Wednesday. They're all over him, but now, and Dala now trying to get to byline, does get to byline, trying to cut back, it's blocked away by Siriki. Is that gone out for a corner kick? I think it has. This game has turned on its head.
It's a cliche, isn't it? But already a game of two halves. The first half dominated by the Blades, and I'm sure as part of Chris Wilder's little thing, even though we're down, imagine if we could have gone a third, because then that is still a big gap, isn't it? Now it's only one to get level. Imagine if they're from this corner get a second, and that's a long stretch of the game where one team are looking for the winner.
Yeah, so I think Colin Phillips will have to apologise to his teammates when they get back in here. Ball into the box, just about dealt with. Went over Bamford's head, but there was a man behind him to clear out in Siriki. The Blades now on the counter-attack with Bamford, but he runs into one too many challenges. Jaden Heskey taking the ball off him. Just looking around Bamford, hoping that he could find something, but you only get X amount of time. McNeil will be feeling good after his brilliant intervention. He finds Palmer. Now he's driving into the box. He goes. What can he do? To the byline. Thumps the ball in. It's blocked away. And all of a sudden, this game was absolutely flip-flop. Binden pointing out it's a corner kick for Sheffield Wednesday.
I know the red cards played a massive part, but it looks like a different team, doesn't it? Even the confidence for them. And again, does that come from the red card? Does that come from half-time? The red card was so quick, you can't really maybe make a decision on that, could you? But look, regardless, maybe the sort of red card that should be giving them a confidence boost. I don't know, but look, they're taking advantage of it. Some teams get that on the door, take advantage. The Owls are doing exactly that.
Yeah, they're showing real quality here. Anyway, the ball comes in, nodded away at the near post by Hamer, of all people, I think. But anyway, the ball breaks back out. Chance for another ball swung in. Keeper comes out, doesn't get there. The ball's only just cleared away, only just. So Sheffield Wednesday coming on strong, and then they win a ball again at the edge of the area. A little dribble from Ndala. But in fact, it was Heskey, and the ball breaks to McNeil now. It's an opportunity for him to sling the ball in the mix. He doesn't do that. And he finds Ndala into box. He goes, puts the ball, fierce effort in there, blocked away by Tanganga. The ball keeps coming back. McNeil now, good looking crossing. Cooper then diffuses that bomb, goes down flat. He might have winded himself there. I tell you what, this is more exciting than I was thinking. I am loving this. I don't know if you like me, probably thought the game was done and dusted and dead at half time.
Yeah, we were speaking at half-time thinking, right, so is this going to be 3-0 Sheffield United, the most professional performance, seeing it out probably. Like you said, what an opening, just over 10 minutes we've had. It's been back and forth for the opening 2 minutes, and the red card, as you said, just turning the game on its head in all the best ways for us two neutrals watching it. As you said earlier, we've got a horse in the race, have we, watching it? We want to just watch some good football, and I thought the first two Sheffield United goals were fantastic. As you say, the ball in from McNeil isn't great, but the finish from the striker, as you said, it's top-notch. So we've seen 3 really good goals, and now it's about the Sheffield Wednesday. They want it quite clear, but what I mean is do they want to go and get a draw? Do they want to go get a win? Do they want to calm this game down? How do the Blades want to go about it? They took Hamer off and brought our blaster on, so I can imagine that it's going to be a long second half for Patrick Bamford, and he probably might not last the full 45, but it'll be long with him up there on his own.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's interesting stuff, isn't it? Football. Just something, you think you've got it pegged, don't you? But like I said, it's weird that I mentioned the game between Arsenal and Wolves. You know, they were so comfortable 2-0 and then they weren't. You know, and then it's 2-1 and then it's, we're a bit worried. For Wednesday, well, can they do the unthinkable, grab 3 points here? You know, they both want to win this Steel City derby. Anyway, Sheffield United have a free kick now. That's a great ball. Harrison Burrows there put a beautiful ball to corridor of uncertainty. Bamford is certain that he was being pulled back, but tell me what you think, Lewis.
I mean, I think he's offside. I won't lie, watching it back. He's using a beautiful ball for Burrows. He just puts it basically right on where you want it. Someone make that run. Tanganga goes for it for his leg, and I feel if he goes for more of a diving header-esque, I think he probably gets a little bit closer than what he does. But again, if I'm Burrows, I'm looking at the team going, I put it where you wanted. Someone's got to get there. Great play by the Ramola. Here they come again.
Yeah, they're all over him like a cheap suit. Adara Mola keeps on going to the byline. Was he brought down in the box there? What's the referee given? He's given a corner kick. I fancied there. A great run from Adara Mola. Before that, we saw Bamford complaining that he'd been pulled. I think he was pulled back. He's pulled back by his former teammate Liam Cooper in the box there. On all of his shirt. If you're not VAR on it, then you know where if the referee can't see it, then he can't. You know, he hasn't got eyes at the back of his head. Anyway, here is Svante Ingelsson going to take the corner kick. The ball to Cooper, wins his little header. The next ball though is won by O'Hare. Anyway, will do. Desperation in that clearance to the halfway line. That's all. Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. But the Blades are down to 10 men. Calvin Phillips, stupid to challenge from him. He who in the schmozzle in the first half didn't look like he was bothered about it, but he thought that he was going to get a freebie in on Svante Ingelsson. Went in, won the ball. Absolutely carried through onto the knee of Ingelsson, and you just cannot do that anymore. And the referee was absolutely right. I don't think there's any shadow of doubt that he was moaning about it afterwards and moaning. I think from the look on Wilder's face, he didn't have time for Phillips when he went off. I just think he knew it was a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, and I think he put what was a little bit weird for me at first was he walked up with his hands up and saying, "I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I got it all wrong." You can at least accept a bit of he's putting responsibility, isn't he, by saying sorry there. And then one of the coaching assistants for Sheffield United came over to the fourth official and was trying to play their card, and then Phillips joined in as well, as if saying, "Oh yeah, I don't think it's a red card." So that was a bit confusing, but yeah, as you said, I think there'll be a bit of an apology to be had, especially if they lose this game or draw. They could still win 2-1, of course, with the Blades. That's still one on Bamford, and you can just feel the tension rising at Bramall Lane.
Well, it's got to be a yellow card, surely. I mean, Liam Palmer doesn't play the ball there, does he? He just knocks his man to the ground. Bamford's going to run past him. Let's take a look at it. Yellow card all day and every day, isn't it?
Yeah, he's having got his eyes on the ball. He's got his eyes on Bamford.
And he's sort of leading with his arm, his elbow, isn't he, into his chest. You're not going to let him off with that, are you? Josh Smith then's had a word with him. You are kidding me. You are kidding me.
Yeah, I think he's on a way with that. I think you're right. I think this is where now.
Really, you can do that in football. You can just attack somebody with your elbow to stop them.
Yeah.
No, you can't. I'm telling you, Luce, you can't. You can't do what he's just allowed. He might be wanting to take the heat out of this derby game, but a yellow card's a yellow card. Anyway, the ball into the box, through the box, and eventually it will be hoofed away by the cover. I'm amazed. I don't think there's. Well, he ain't a good referee in the Premier League, and now Josh Smith's taking himself off the list for me. He'd done a good job with the red card, and then he can't get a yellow card right.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's what he's trying to do. He's trying to just say, right, lads, let's just calm down. But again, what you said about setting a precedent as well. Well, for example, let's just say that happens for a Sheffield United defender, they get a yellow card. You'd be furious, wouldn't you? Going, well, he just did that up the other end, and then that's where the consistency comes into play, doesn't it? Of saying, well, what's a yellow card and what's not a yellow card. You're spot on. That is a yellow card, and now it sets that precedent of what is and what isn't, and it puts the referee in a difficult position.
Yeah, and what do you think there? Once you're letting somebody away with it, he's got his yellow card out now, and Liam Cooper gets a yellow card. Once you don't yellow card, it sends a signal. It's like free for all. And how do you think Bamford feels? Because he's like saying, yeah, it doesn't matter, mate. I don't want to escalate, so I'm not going to book anybody else. Everybody then thinks it's free reign to do whatever they want.
Well, I think Liam Cooper's probably. I think that's. Well, whether that's yellow card, the
that's
Palmer
nowhere
isn't.
Near
No,
as bad a challenge as that the one just saw.
so now Palmer probably going, oh, I've really got away. Just I've got away one there, haven't I? So, like you say, Cooper's probably gone into that going, well, I'm not going to get a yellow card. Probably going to going, well, what's? Then again, confusion starts, as he says.
But you can see, because he's inconsistency, both teams are getting really sort of angsty and thinking what is and what isn't, and can I get away with this? Anyway, changes are going to be made. Bamford's going off. Yeah, he again probably sacrificing all this, isn't he? Trying to work out. Looks like Tyrese Campbell coming on. Got more legs about him, and I think they'll need all of them. I think Kijana Hover was the other player coming on, the Dutchman, but not entirely certain. It seems a long time since Bamford got his goal. Campbell replaces him. He's just having a word with him. Patrick Bamford. I think Bamford's played really well, and Brooks has gone off because they want something a bit more solid. So whether Siriki goes ahead of him or not will remain to be seen. But anyway, changes that made, fresh legs out there. Hover's on loan from Wolves. Anyway, it's still Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. I'm really enjoying this. There's a lot going on. It's like you're getting I sort of get my high horse about this and that, but that doesn't mean to say I don't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Sometimes we don't want referees to make mistakes. We want them to be spot on. Sometimes a referee mistake can just spice that game up a little bit more, can't it? And see how it's going to go. Brought down there as a hair again by McNeil that time. And now you've got to think, you've got yellow cards for Ingleson. McNeil's going to go in the box. So you've got 4 players now for Wednesday on yellow cards. You've probably got to look at all 4 of them as possible coming off, just because you don't want to yourself go down to 10 men, and then if they go down to 10 men, I think Sheffield have gone, right, let's kill this game off completely. Yeah,
and you know for a fact the referee wants to even it up. You know, anyway, Charlie McNeil got his 2nd yellow card this season. If not in the derby, you know, when are you going to get booked? Silly challenge, really. But I think the Blades have shown a little bit of character since they've conceded that goal. They were swamped a little bit, but then they've come back, haven't they? Anyway, got a free kick here. It goes long, looking for a Hov on the far side. The flag had gone up, so that was great from them. So we haven't seen much of Arblaster since he's come on. Ollie Arblaster, who probably thinking the last thing he wanted to see was Calvin Phillips signed, but he's an England under-20 international. Been at Bradford Park Avenue on loan, amongst others. Port Vale then, just 22, still making his way in the game. You can see him there trying to hook up with Tyrese Campbell in the middle, but it's Sheffield Wednesday on the ball. This game's absolutely flown by, I bet, for the fans. I mean, we were talking about Wednesday fans being masochists, but they'd be thinking, hopefully now, maybe we can get something out of the game, maybe 3 points then against 10 men. But they've got to get something going. Off to Bayer now, down the right-hand side to Palmer. Where's his winger? Well, he stood there by himself, and nobody showed for him. Nobody, you know, they're all waiting at the far. Why do you think he's going to get the ball to you? Surrounded by 3 there. I'm not sure if Wednesday what they're trying to do there. I don't know where McNeil had gone.
No, I think you're right. And as well, this is where I think the game's almost settled back into calmness, hasn't it? Whereas the chaos, Wednesday were thriving with the extra man and so forth. But that's what down the left I thought they were great with. Adaramolo and Lowen and Darlow almost tripling up on the left, weren't there? And they were so close to each other, making runs for each other. Whereas, yeah, Palmer took a touch, looked up and went, I've got to try and take on my man, and I'm on the byline, it's hard to do that. Whereas down the left they look a more cohesive unit. That's what they're doing now.
So, yeah, they are trying to make ground, but this time Ndala can't get around his man. The ball only goes backwards, though, and Ingleson then is quarterbacking his team to some degree. Ball into the middle for Jaden Heskey. Got to go back to Cooper. Just trying to use the advantages that they've got right now, but well, for the Blades, they're just a one-man strike force now. You know, Tyrese Campbell will chase it and then tuck back in, I feel. There's some great play from City Peck. He's driving forward. His final ball leaves a lot to be desired, but he's had a good game, City Peck. Ball nodded away by Ingleson, but then one back. Campbell looking, and there's a little runner through then in Peck. With the ball now at the edge of the area. Campbell then driving through. What's a good challenge. And in the end, he's just nudged off the ball by Ingleson getting back there. That was really good defending from the Swede.
Yeah, he was good defending, but he had to be careful as well because he's on the yellow card, of course. So that's, I think, sometimes it can just switch you on a little bit more. Can't it? Right, I'm on a yellow card, so I have to. If I'm going in to win the ball, if I'm shoulder to shoulder, as you said, the referee again, while he's giving the yellow cards, he might have to be a little bit careful. And a penalty as well would have been if he's a second wrong or doesn't get the ball or doesn't just play it how he does. So that was really good from Ingles. So I thought he was very poor in the first half, but he's been good in the second.
Yeah, he has. Heskey wins the ball in the middle of the park. He got the better of O'Hare. There was too strong for him. Tyrese Campbell wins his little duel here, and then O'Hare goes running past him with the ball, still showing some sort of aptitude to try and get forward. You don't want to just sit back and defend deep. Anyway, we are 3/4 of the way through this game, listening to independent off-tube studio commentary. It is Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. The Blades down to 10 men though, as Calvin Phillips got sent off. Going to be Lewis now to take us through to full time.
Cheers, John. Yeah, what a. I think it wasn't a bad first half to watch, was it? In terms of we got some quality from Sheffield United, but my word, this second half, obviously the red card very early on for Calvin Phillips, is just, as you said straight away, this game's been flipped. It's calmed down, of course, in the last 10-15 minutes or so, but still got some quality players. And at the moment, of course, what you said, which is coming to fruition at the moment. Play devil's advocate. Let's say it finishes 2-1. Well, Sheffield Wednesday won the second half. So something to take away. Yeah, something to take away. You know, the argument would be, well, we have to go down to 10 men. There's all that, isn't there? You know, with your next door neighbour who happens to support the other team. But it's starting to bragging rights, really. You know, but at one point we were thinking this could be, you know, this could be the walk in the park. We were thinking Sheffield Wednesday get a man sent off, and then you're looking at your 5s and 6s and all that. So it's a big turnaround, really. Can Wednesday go one stage further and really take advantage of the 10 men? You know, they've got to within a goal. Can they do better than that? That's the question. Well, again, so the scoring in about 72 seconds officially. I think it was. The second came just before the 20th-minute mark. If you'd have said to us 70 minutes on the clock after that opening 20, what score would have been? I would agree with you. I'd have said at least 4-0 to Sheffield United. And look, I think they've done really well of Wednesday to battle, even in the first half, to try and keep it level. I think, as you said, since going down to 10 men, Sheffield United have done really well as well to calm things down. Wednesday on the ball, played from left to right, looking for the goal scorer, McNeil. Ball just over hit for the former Manchester United winger there. And he's playing on the right hand side, but I think he does do a little better when he's up top. I mean, Yates and Lowe, I don't really remember mentioning them much, even in the second half, which I think is a little bit disappointing. Even the likes of Indala, Ingles and Heskey, we have actually mentioned them getting on the ball.
Yeah, Yates is non-existent, isn't he? No. He must be doing something somewhere, but I don't know what it is. Might be selling burgers in the concourse or something. I don't know where he's gone, but we've not seen him.
They've been trying to sell those half-and-half scarves, which no one's buying. I can imagine this afternoon in the Steel Derby. Long ball forward for Campbell. It looks to me as well that at the moment with the subs as well, they've gone to a bit of a 5 at the back with Freed midfield and Campbell on his own, and then O'Hare trying to support Campbell if and when he can. Just again trying to solidify the Blades midfield and defence. Got a throw in high up on the left-hand side for Burrows to take. Into the feet of O'Hare. Gets his head up and it goes back down the left-hand side. Got a 2v1. Well, though, with what he does, Yates is at right back. Well, that's where we've just found him there. Tries to clear it away, but can't clear it in time, and it trickles out of play for a throw. And looking at the stats in the game, the Blades just over 60% possession. I mean, it was approaching 75 at one point in the first half. That shows that we've got back in it out of the Owls. Big tackle there to put it out for a corner from Palmer. And again, I think he gets it right. It's a big tackle, but with that yellow card that he's already escaped, he's got to be careful.
I don't think he was that careful, to be honest with you, but and he's given away a corner. I was looking at the Wednesday bench and just thinking, really? I don't know. Ugbo is the only one I'd take. That's their problem, because they haven't got strength in depth. You know, pretty much their best 11's on there. I'd have Ugbo for Yates in a breath, but I think that's just about the only change I'd make.
No, I agree. There's not something where you go, right, look at our bench, who can we bring on to make an impact, as you say. That's a depth. You're spot on there. It's almost right. What we've got on the pitch is what we've got. The referee just having a pause. There will be an in-swinger coming in just a moment for the Blades. The two skippers in Palmer and Tanganga are being brought by the referee. It was was Cooper and Tanganga who was coming together. We see it all the time, don't we? Pushing, shoving, the ref will say do this, yeah I will ref, and then they'll just do it all again anyway, so a bit of a no reason to pause. It will be Peck to swing this one in, puts it right on the goalkeeper, has to punch it away. I believe it might have even gone out of play, or the referee's given a free kick. Well, Palmer and Tanganga have ended up in the back of the net together, hugging almost.
I don't think they were hugging.
A bear hug, maybe, more like.
Of all the guesses I would have had what they were doing together, hugging was the very last one I would have come up with. But anyway, no, funny that. Yeah, little pull of shirt by Tyrese Campbell on Heskey there, but he gets away with it. And here come Sheffield Wednesday again.
Back on the ball, look a lot more confident on the ball again. As you said, there'll be that thing of, yeah, but you're an extra man on the field, this and that. But even just passing and taking touches, getting the heads up, to look a lot more confident on the ball. Palmer plays it long, and as I say, that goes to the commentator, it's a poor pass. O'Hare picks it up and Burrows will just play it down the line, looking for the run of Campbell, and he puts under pressure to Bayo. It goes out for another throw-in for the Blades, and they'll be happy at the moment. 74 minutes we're about to take over into Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Was in the first half from Bamford in quick succession, followed by Burrows, and then after the Calvin Phillips red card about 4 minutes into the second half, the finish, another strike from McNeil made it 2-1, and that's where we do sit right now. And again, just speaking about the travelling fans, it's a massive trip to make our way to Bramall Lane for the Wednesday fans, as that throwing comes to nothing, and Wednesday get it back. Neil plays it long. Well, as far as Bindon, he's had a decent game for me himself and Tanganga. He kept very quiet, but can only do what you're up against. Is that if you are Pedersen, if you are a fan, you're losing 2-1, so you're losing anyway. Would you rather, you've got the extra man, go for it? I know, I'm not saying even the substitute, as you said, throw bodies forward, push for it, and if you get caught on the counter, you get caught on the counter, don't you, in some sense? But just go for it and take a risk this afternoon.
I think you've got to. This team's going to go down. There's no doubt about that. There's no rainbow at the end. There's no gold pot at the end of the rainbow. So it's a miserable, horrible season where they're destined to go down. What the fans want. They know they're going down. But how much would they give for a victory in this game, or the idea that they try and that they give it a go? And at least in this very one game showed some spirit and didn't go down in this game. They've got to give it a go,
You'd hope so. But time was running out, but still there was a good amount of time. Just under 15 minutes, and then plus any stoppage time. We've got the back end of the second half. Ball into the area for Peck, opens up on his right boot, cuts inside on his left, takes a strike, it's blocked away, over the edge of the area. He's dispossessed by Andrew Mola, and that means there's a bit of space coming forward for Wednesday down this left-hand side. It's all the way to the wide left-hand side. Andrew Mola slows it down. I thought there could have been a counter-attack on there. Blades got the players back in good succession, in good order. I feel they maybe wasted a counter-attack. Even Wednesday are slowing it down now and looking to, again, almost just, right, let's not concede a third, but you're also thinking, right, you've got the man advantage, take it to United, because when they did, they looked really good. Saying that, they're coming forward now, down the left-hand side, into the penalty, a strike at goal, chance it's saved by Cooper and Tyler. A great run, might be offside though it is, I take the excitement out of my voice there, but again, that's just pushing it, and they nearly got a chance.
Let's take a look. Oh, he's a mile offside, isn't he, when the ball's played? Instead, I was just looking down the results today and see what else was going on. In Aruba, Real Coyari were beaten 17-0 by Sporting in the Caribbean Sea. It's just south of Venezuela, that little island. So it could be.
Oh, if you'd have said after the first 20 minutes, maybe it could have been 17-0 to Sheffield United in this game, but the Blades didn't. Maybe showed a bit of mercy in the first half, which maybe looking back on, they'll be a little bit disappointed with that. Will just be a pause in play. Mola's gone down. Looks like he might have pulled up there. That's why he's gone all the way to the left-hand side, because it looks like he might have pulled up, or it might be a bit of fatigue. He's only signed on deadline day, so he might be missing a little bit of fitness of the lower knee.
And he's actually played quite well, hasn't he? I've been impressed with him. He's got a bit of a dart forward, got stuck in at the back. Who was that going down just there? Cooper as well, was it? Liam Cooper's really hurt himself here.
Yeah, this could be a bit. I mean, you already spoke about the non-existent depth they have. The two players who you can imagine will be week in, week out.
Well, Liam Cooper just booting the ball, collapsed in agony straight after. I've a feeling his knee has gone here. I'm thinking there's no chance that he's going to continue if the other guy's cramped up, then maybe they can. Even then, usually I think if somebody's cramped, you take them straight off, really. But yeah, just well, the two players getting worked on. It's not good for the Owls. Like we said, they don't really have strength in depth. But I think the Cooper injury is probably the worst of the two.
Yeah. Again, it's because Adam Romolo, as you said, cranky, got to take him off. That's unfortunate. But you'd expect him to be ready for the next game. For example, Cooper looks like something that.
Do you know what I do? I put Jerry Yates at centre back. At least I want to see get some money out of him.
Play him at left back. There you go. Get up and down that left hand flank, mate.
Well, make him do something. But Liam Cooper, he's at it, hasn't he? There.
He's walking, if you can even call it walking. He's being helped off by a medical assistant. I think that's more than just probably wanting to walk off himself. So it will at least be one change with Cooper coming off. Adam Romola might just give a few more minutes. I'm not too sure. Doesn't look like it's more than one substitution ready. I will say that much. So, and again, this is a fourth one. They haven't made any changes yet. Wednesday, Cooper's on a yellow card as well. He could have been a player you might have seen going off. So there will be this free pause almost. So we'll just go on to the back end of this game. I don't think they know that we've got other things to do later on, John, with this extra time.
They don't care about us, do they? Well, back to come on. Like I said, you have to put your best players on. I think maybe they could gamble a bit, but also they might just put, maybe an Ingleson back, or maybe go 3 at the back, or do something more, a bit more out there. They've lost their way. They've only got one attacker really in Tyrese Campbell to look out for. They don't really need a back four to deal with them.
Yeah, you'd rather more players in the midfield or further from the field, wouldn't you, making runs. So for the moment, because Cooper's just about to take this free kick from the offside still, that's how much of a delay we've had. It will be down to 10 men because Adaramola is still off the field of play. So at the moment, they are currently going to be even, maybe from Sheffield United, trying to boot it up and get a chance quickly before Adaramola's back on the field of play. Just over the head of Campbell, falls for Ingleson. Good strong play from Campbell there to win the ball. Back to Hover, edge of the area, Arblaster. O'Hare tries to take it into penalty area, just bobbles awkwardly for him, and Wednesday win the ball back down the left hand side. Ingleson, he's almost been given that more defensive role in the midfield, but maybe given license to come forward. Then it gives away a bit of a sloppy free kick, and again, I'm not saying that's a yellow card at all, but when you're on a yellow card, they can sometimes add up for maybe that second yellow.
Yeah, silly little shove there, wasn't there? But yeah, the referee's not going to get him a second yellow for that. So yeah, the fans look on. Some biting their nails. Most of them can't look. In fact, most of them, it's all of them, isn't it? Really, Sheffield Wednesday thinking, oh no, can we get back in? Blaze fans thinking, oh no, please don't let us leave. We have this game in the bag. So I'm not sure who knows, where to look and at what time. But for Wednesday, they've gone really quiet, haven't they, in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, it feels, again, I know we've said it, but for example, getting your full backs overlap, and as you said with that change for Cooper, just go for it a little bit more. I think they've thrived in the chaos in this second half a bit more. And Darla's on the left-hand side, and the Blades have gone to more of a back five. So it's been awkward to go through, but I think they've just been a bit tepid. Wednesday back to the left-hand side it will go. Taking on a few players there. Hover does really well, and he's really strong in Ramona. Picks out a pass to Peck, he's done a lot to drive forward. Coming forward, still takes it past his man, and just bobbles off a few of the legs there, and he will win a free kick up against Bio. So he does really well there. I'm not saying he gets his head up and pings the ball to O'Hare, but O'Hare was making a blitzing run through the middle for a second there as well.
I've been really impressed by Sidney Peck today. Be a strong candidate man of the match, I think. There've been some good performances here, really. I thought Bamford did well while he was on, scored his good goal. Harrison Burrows not done anything wrong, apart from go walkabout, I suppose, when Charlie McNeil scored his goal to get Wednesday back in. There's been some good strong performances. I'll take Bio now, who's the next in the book. Really every one of the Sheffield Wednesday team's got on a yellow card now, seemingly.
Taken quickly by United, back to Sariki on the right hand side, tries to take it past his man, but well by Adaram Molo, and until to clear the lines, can't, because Sariki's back there looking to hunt down and win the ball. He does, tries to take it down the byline. Once again, him up against Adaram, full back into full back spin. A good battle down the United right, the Wednesday left so far. Burrows did run out to Sariki. Bit of an overload here on the right hand side if they can use it. Blaster back to Sariki. just keeps it in play. It goes out for a throw-in for Wednesday.
Terrible ball. We're just getting all the players booked. Hardly anybody booked for Sheffield United except for Carlos Phillips, who's got the big one.
Yes.
I mean, the other thing is that so many booked for Wednesday, bar Liam Palmer, who probably put in the worst and most obvious yellow card challenge.
Yeah, then it was it Cooper like a minute later got for a similar kind of thing, but a softer one. He's given a yellow card, so the referee's calmed down a little bit with the yellow card since then, but still, definitely some mistakes. It has to be said. So it's going to be a double change coming up for Sheffield United. Looks like it'll be Siriki and O'Hare that will be coming off, and again O'Hare put a big shift in. Siriki's been up and down that right hand flank all afternoon. It'll be Sumare and Heidel who will come on in play. So again, very like for like. Sumare for O'Hare's more of a central midfielder, but getting those fresh legs on to keep the game ticking over and make sure you see this game out almost.
Yeah, strong subs to bring. They've got a good bench, haven't they? Yelda's a good, strong competitor. Sumare started the last game, which was a victory away at Fratton Park, which is not easy to do. You know, all those fans like right on top of you, screaming at you, aren't they? At Fratton Park, always makes it a very difficult place to go. I would have thought, but they won. So they're in a little winning streak, and at the moment they look like they're going to win this game as well, because Wednesday have gone really quiet at just the wrong time, haven't they?
Yeah, they needed to keep that momentum up in the early parts of the second half. Finally, we're going to see a yellow card for Sheffield United there. As you said, all the yellow cards for Wednesday totting up. Well, finally going to see the first yellow card for the Blades. It will be Arblaster. It's a late tackle, it's a yellow card, and again, they've only had one card, straight red. Arblaster will be second yellow card of the season, and now Wednesday get a free kick opportunity. Just put it in the mixer if you want.
Yeah, it's right. Their fans would love it. They want anything off it, don't they? But we'll see how they go. Take it short, maybe a chance to load up the box and get it in now.
Ramola takes it down the byline, looks to maybe put a ball into the box. He's got a spot with him. Dala back to his left. He goes back to McNeil. He might line up a shot. He's already put it in the back of the net. That one is well wide and up into maybe even pushing Rose in the stands. That's Paul from Neil. It opened up for him, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say he should be putting that in the top corner. He should be scoring there, but I think you've got to be at least getting that time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of time to sort his feet out there, and well, the Wednesday keeper's gone down now. You know for a fact that there's something wrong with Dieng, because there's no way he'd be wasting his own time, would he? So why should he be fit as well? You always think your keeper stood there, but you know he won't have had much game time. Senny Dieng, will he? More recently, so yeah, just everything falling apart really. And he's on loan from Middlesbrough. Away from the first team. 7 caps for Senegal, the 31-year-old. He was actually born in Zurich, Senny Dieng. But anyway, he's getting treatment now, and play will stop. Like I said, I was just looking at around at the other scores. We're not the only game in the world, but of course the only game in the Championship today. Then there's some 2 o'clock Premier Leagues: Palace, Wolves, Forest, Liverpool, Sunderland, Fulham, and then what should be in prospect an incredible game, Tottenham against Arsenal. Arsenal have been looking nervy, haven't they? You could tell what that win for Man City did for them last night, couldn't you? They were, I thought actually they over celebrated. Going to see a change now. Adaramola, he goes off. He just out on his feet, wasn't he? Just cramped up, just match fitness down really. But he'll get replaced. In Italy, Genoa 3, Torino 0. So we're just looking at Moses coming on for Yates, Fusiri for Adaramola.
Yeah, I think that's the most we've seen Yates on our screen this afternoon. Is him leaving the field there, because again, as we spoke about, for example, definitely in the first half we didn't see a lot of Wednesday names. In the second half we have, but again we said you could say we spoke about Adaramola a lot of times, but the goal scorer in Dala Palmer. You couldn't really say we spoke about Jamal Lowe or Jerry Yates. That was disappointing, I have to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do something. Show for the ball. Come and help. Go back into midfield. Do whatever you're going to do, but get on the ball, please, because otherwise you're not justifying the wages that you're getting paid. Anyway, here an opportunity, and
Well, the first thing that happens to Devlin Moses is waiting for the ball too long and it's taken off his toe end.
Going forward, low, plays it forward into Moses. Ooh. Tanganga looks to just put it through to his goalkeeper. Has to be cleared away. Cooper's not happy. Tanganga's not happy. It's one of them where it looked like the ball was going to trickle into Cooper's arms and he just slowed down, didn't he? Then Tanganga just maybe wanting just to clear it away.
I think I'm loath to give the referee any praise, but I think it was a good non-decision. I didn't see a foul. The ball got away from Cooper, and now Wednesday have got to throw parallel with the edge of the area.
Talk about Cooper's, now we only have one on the field at least, so that's it's a bit easier for us in terms of calling all the action. As John said, it will be a long throw-in. On the left-hand side, but it's been a catching practice for Cooper, and you can just tell instantly, grab the ball, let's get everyone out of the box, let's get up the field, let's calm this down. 90 seconds left of the 90.
Well, that throw was straight at the keeper, but at that split second, he had the sun right in his eyes, didn't he? Coming from that direction. So even though you think, well, why did you throw it at him? I was thinking it wasn't such a bad idea, that either.
Yes, if he might make a mistake, he might drop it, and you got someone to tap it up. Jamal Lowe might have done something and tapped it home and got an equaliser. You're not too sure.
Jamal Lowe doing something? Yes. Are you sure now?
Possibly. I ain't seen that number 9 do much this afternoon, but you never know what he can do. He's been on the left-hand side, but not been on the left-hand side, has he? Because Ndala's been there. That's a great player now coming forward for the Owls. To the left-hand side, Ingleson. This is much better. Ball into the box. Body's there. It's headed away by Tanganga. To Jamal Lowe. Here can he create something? Out to the right to the goal scorer McNeil. He swings when it bobbles. Bindon will clear it in the end. Campbell going for the ball. Is he brought down by Otik Bayo? He's already on a yellow card as well. So it will be all evened up right at the last opportunity. Otik Bayo is given his marching orders. His second yellow card. About 5 or 6 minutes as well. So just as you see, look, Sheffield went and said, look, yeah, they've won this second half at the moment. But that's poor for me from Otik Bayo.
Yeah, good for Tyrese Campbell. That's why he was put on. He's quick. Yeah, you're 1-on-1 against him. You've got a decision to make. I think the Blades have hung on well this second half. Otik Bayo just pulling his shirt for too long. Don't do that, mate. He could have jockeyed with him. The ball. He's sort of going away from goal. It's only over the halfway line. Come on, just play the game. Play the game. Why did he pull him back there? You could have jockeyed. You don't know. What do you think he was going to go on and score? Now, why has he done that?
Well, his first shot, the crowd were quite silly on the right side when Peck was coming forward as well. So, look, it's not been a great afternoon. Again, in the first 10 minutes of the second, I thought, could Sheffield to get something? Can they push forward? I don't think they did enough at all. 7 minutes of stoppage time, absolutely fantastic. We're looking at our watches and clocks, but it's one of them, isn't it? That, again, that first 10 minutes thinking, look, can we take this one? Okay, equalise, we'll get out of it. And I think in the end, this half has just dragged into a bit of a poor ending, really.
Yeah, they couldn't. Well, they couldn't take advantage. They had a man extra, couldn't make it work. How many more men would they have needed to make it work? There was one brilliant individual goal. That's it. But there wasn't a lot of good team play, was there?
No.
And too many shrinking violets. We talked laughingly about Lowe and Yates. There's a reason for that. But then it's all wrapped up with where the club is, with its finances. If they're the kind of players that you can get, it's almost got to be spoon-fed to those guys. It's not good enough. But we all know that, and that's one of the reasons. There was no point throwing a load of money at a team with so many points docked. It's going to go straight down. There's a bit of it's why somebody like even Bannon has had to go. It's like, well, enough is enough at a certain point. But anyway, Wednesday they had a chance, didn't they? Second half, and we said at least if somehow they won the second half, but that's as much as they can take out the game, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, and again, maybe from a Blades point of view, that look, maybe in the first half we could be 3 or 4. Look, maybe we could have done more in the first half. You say it's 4-0 at half time, but it's 4-1. Yes, they've won the second half, but we can't be battered, haven't we, to a degree. The goal scorer McNeil will make way for McGee there in the last few moments, just to maybe solidify him defensively. I mean, you're already 2-0 down. I'm not saying McNeil's going to come up. I'm saying go for it. If you lose 3-1, you lose 3-1. You're already losing 2, and as you said, already down, unfortunately, in terms of the season. Maybe show something. They've won the ball out of the field. They're of the Blades. Strike at goal. It's well there by the substitute into the arms of the goalkeeper.
We've had about 80 subs, haven't we? I'm really losing this.
the plot that he was on moves off at the minute.
We'll just see a ball go up and a player go on, a player go off. Who was that, right? Trying to catch it. Our broadcasters trying to keep us up to date. Sometimes it can be hard work, but here come the Blades in search of a third. Peck plays it through to Campbell. Can he make it 3-1? What a save from DeYoung there. And he catches his rebound almost. That could have and should have been 3-1, but what a save.
No, I thought it was a good save. Yeah, I don't think Campbell did anything wrong there. Maybe could have given it a bit more pace on it. Before that, it was Sumari running through, who I was thinking was a holding midfielder, but he quite out the field. So yeah, Campbell. I mean, he hasn't got much to. It's hard to dig the ball out. He did what he could with what he had, and it wasn't the worst, you know. But it was a good save.
I think as well, it's one of them where if he could take maybe more of a touch out to his left foot to curl it round, he's got to take a little touch, hasn't he, because of the defenders, and then almost hit it instantly. So I thought it was good defending. Good goalkeeping, as you say. Right back up the other end, though. A long throw in for Wednesday. It's nodded away, and now the Blades might hit on the counter. Sumari, he's got players in front of him. He can get his head up. He's got Burrows through in the middle. Instead, he'll take a clip just inside the half of Wednesday. That'll be another yellow card. So my word, the fines and the yellow cards are probably racking up here for Sheffield Wednesday. You can see it coming all day long there.
It's no Sheffield Wednesday. No wonder they're struggling with their finances. I mean, you know, yeah, so many yellow cards today. Moses, it was Devlin Moses. His first this season. For me, City Peck's man of the match today. I think he's been excellent. He's got an incredible engine on him, and I think he's sort of driven the team pretty well. I thought he played well alongside Calvin Phillips first half, and then of course that rush of blood. But for me, he's held it together in the second half, and it's one of the main reasons why Sheffield Wednesday have not been able to get any traction.
No, 100%. He's almost. I know he's had help on the field, but he's been that carrier, hasn't he? He's really carried a burden in all the best ways. Peck got that lovely assist for Burrows, fantastic second as well, didn't he? For lovely ball played in. Burrows with a great finish as well. 100% agree. I thought he was the legs for Phillips in the first half, and he's done basically his and Phillips' job in the second half together. Yeah,
exactly that. So they might find somebody else. Sometimes that happens, don't they? Burrows have done all right. Andre Brooks, a good first half, but all in all, I think over the 90 minutes. Well, Wednesday fans there having a sing along, but they're relegated. They're going down. And that's confirmed with this defeat today.
Yes, and I think that was they're just trying to hold off on the. Good to see a few more weeks possibly. Coming forward, Arblaster, he's got to play the pass. He does to Peck. Can he finish it off? No, he can't. What a save! Arblaster keeps it alive. Peck will be offside, and it will be a free kick for Wednesday in their own penalty area there. And you were speaking, I think if he'd have scored there, that would have been, without no doubt, player of the match.
Yeah, that would have topped it off. Ball comes across him. It wasn't the worst hit. It's a good save by the keeper's feet. You know, these things happen, don't they? But he's not really in there for his finishing, let's face it. But it wasn't a bad effort either.
Would you say a little bit Arblaster waited too long, then Peck never knew when to go?
No, I thought it was all good enough. It was all good enough that it just didn't end at the back of the net. Sometimes it's destined not to. That's a strong challenge again by Sumari, and here come the Blades again.
Search for a third, back into Campbell, opens up on his left boot. It's a good block away by Liam Palmer. Thought if he would have had eyes in the back of his head, it's a portable pass. He could have backheeled it to Sumari.
I tell you what, whenever they've been on even terms with the numbers, they've shown that they're a better team.
Yes.
11 against 11, 10 against 10. You know, when the game's been there to win, they've won it. And yeah, Wednesday bit back and nipped back at them, but there's no doubt that the Blades are the better team.
As you said, I think you're spot on there. I mean, the first half I thought they were fantastic with the pass and the play, how they attacked. They scored 2 great goals. Yes, inside 72 seconds for Bamford, but it was a lovely pass from Hamer, lovely finish, calm, cool and composed from Bamford. Burrows, as you said, outside the left foot, it was a lovely strike, wasn't it, from Burrows? Great pass from Peck. And then they just saw the first half. I thought they showed a little bit of mercy to Wednesday in the first half, because I think if they wanted to go get third or fourth, they could have easily done that. The red card from Phillips obviously changed the game. McNeil took advantage with a strike, but then I think, as you pointed out a few times, I think the Blades have just professionally seen this game out and cooled it down. They do have a corner. We've played the 7 minutes of stoppage time. I think this ball will be flicked, and the referee's pausing the play for them to be too far back. The referee saying you're wasting your own time. I want to blow the whistle as soon as this ball comes in. Waiting for the referee. All eyes. Yes, he does. Full time. They did the job in the first half to the Blades through goals from Bamford and Burrows. A Phillips red card early in the second half changed it. McNeil grabbed the goal for Wednesday. A late second yellow card for Otic. Bio made it 10v10, but in the end the Blades were too good. And Wednesday officially do go down. Full time from the Bramall Lane in the Steel Derby. Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of